What is going on, everyone? This is your host, the NC1001, the Retired 10 Tiger 01, the Bengal Dragon. Make sure to hit that like button, the subscribe button, and that bell notification button. Today I'm going to talk about Batman The Dark Knight Rises, starring Tom Hardy as Bane. Okay. Sorry, I had to do that. Cause let me be very honest. Very honest. Okay, first of all, I watch South Park. Okay. I watch South Park a lot. Next. If you haven't noticed from my current activities on this channel, I'm just catching up on a lot of the classic movies. Like, in fact, right now I'm like, I didn't realize this one was on my DVR without a commercial break. I'm watching Captain America: The First Avenger. Like, I've like maybe 40 minutes, half an hour, 40 minutes left. Okay. Some of you might have thought, oh, this is such an exciting movie or whatnot. I'm sorry. When I first saw this, like, something started working at the back of my head. I'm like, wait, where have I seen this before? Where have I seen this before? Then, all of a sudden, because, no, you know what, this is a topic for another day. Let's just say this is how human intelligence works, and this is actually one of the key components. Not one of the key, this is the key component missing from artificial intelligence that will never make, that will always require it to have human supervision or a human influence. Because if human intelligence is anything, it's not stagnant. Human intelligence, especially in its peak, throughout it's very dynamic. Human intelligence is not stagnant, and there's there are principles behind it, which, to be honest, without human influence, like, I'm sorry to divert on this, but without human influence, artificial intelligence will never reach that. Never. It's to do with complex system for information processing, implicit information processing, that a lot of people haven't converted into code yet, and which I think they will not convert into code yet, because even those systems are very, 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 very dynamic. Anyways, so yes, all of a sudden it hit me. Oh my god, it's the UPS episode from South Park, guys. Okay, if you want to know what I'm talking about, like, either look up the episode about the Amazon and the UPS delivery guy in South Park, or just go to YouTube and type South Park Bane impressions. I'm like, oh my god. Once I realized that, bro, I could not take the rest of this movie I could not take Bane seriously. I'm like, oh my god, South Park made an episode on you. Okay, but that given aside, The Dark Knight Rises wasn't as good as the it obviously wasn't as good as the thing. It was slightly better than the Batman Begins, but it wasn't as good as Dark Knight. Because the Dark Knight had the Joker, had Heath Ledger in it. And yes, I will say this again, Jack Nicholson slightly better than Heath Ledger, and actually Heath Ledger mentioned this as well. Like, he's not even looking. He was like, you can't touch what Jack Nicholson did, because, like I said, Jack Nicholson worked with a much weaker script and a much weaker cast of actors around him. Heath Ledger worked with a very strong script. Okay, yeah. Jack Nicholson being the classic Joker, Heath Ledger being realistic. Like, whatever.
like, does it come off as more menacing and more credible or not? That's what I'm more concerned with. Anyways, yeah, the realism also has a thing, but in the end, look, it's Batman. It's Batman. Okay, you have to suspend your disbelief. You can't take everything at face value. Anyways, so about this movie, The Dark Knight Rises, I will say, yeah, it told a good story. It told a good story, but somehow it did not come off as well as The Dark Knight did. It came off well, but just not as well as The Dark Knight did, because they were trying to, like, have that slow burn, try and bring the Ra's al Ghul element back into this movie. But however, there's a little problem with the execution. And you could say there's a plot hole, or one plot hole or two. Because Bane is supposed to be someone's essentially guardian uncle. And Bane breaks Batman's back with a wrestling move? With a backbreaker? Doesn't Batman have an armored, bulletproof, very toughened bat suit to begin with, and Batman gets his back broken by a wrestling move? Which, by the way, does not break your back. Yes, for those maybe 0.001% of people who haven't figured out wrestling is fake yet, even technique-wise, the way Tom Hardy did it, it doesn't break your back. Anyways, so that was, those are some of the problems with the movie, but also something about Tom Hardy's acting. Yeah, he came off as intense, but he did not come off as someone who is okay. Put it this way. Take Tom Hardy from this movie and take Liam Neeson from Batman Begins. Put a side-by-side comparison of not the action, but the you could say the intellectual presence. How smart they and how justified they come off as. You will see Liam Neeson comes off as much more convincing and much more well-rounded and well-calculated as Bane. He comes off more than that compared to Bane. Bane is like he's a pseudo-anarchist. I guess they tried. Bane comes off as a Joker Jr. A Joker Jr. who can fight. In fact, there are elements of that Ivan something. I don't know if I covered Iron Man 2 on this channel, but I've covered some movies I kind of forgot. But yeah, that in the Iron Man 2, that Russian guy, he has a bit of his elements too, but just not execute. Wait, he didn't execute it right either. So somehow I felt Bane should have come off as someone with a bit more intensity and someone with a bit more you could say, charisma. That's the best word I can use. Because what I saw is a guy, like a muscular guy who can talk behind a mask. And that too, for some reason he didn't talk that much. I don't know if this is how it is in the comics, that he doesn't talk much. But if he doesn't talk much, how do we understand where he's coming from and whatnot? I'm like, and then so. And then you have the whole girl thing. Bane cares for someone now. Bane kills all these people, but all of a sudden cares for someone. I'm like, okay, that makes no sense. That Miranda girl. Okay, so that's Tom Hardy given. Christian Bale. Christian Bale. Yeah, he got less of Batman to play, more of Bruce Wayne to play in this movie, which I think he is better off playing Batman, because that's a character he can actually pull off much better than he can pull off Bruce. Or you know what, maybe not, because maybe Bruce Wayne is supposed to be this boring type of character. I would have liked Bruce Wayne to be someone like James Bond with those those witty one-liners, but the American version, but who's not someone who's a bit of a playboy, but not that much. In fact, you know what? Maybe a younger Sean Connery, or let's say a Pierce Brosnan. Maybe would have played a better Bruce Wayne, but a Batman, no. Batman, Christian Bale. Okay, so the story from there is actually pretty good, and but wait, how did he get crippled? Maybe I missed this part. Like, he's crippled for 8 years. When the proto Catwoman, or the pre-Catwoman stole the pre-Catwoman stole the jewels from the safe. The safe that this person had for such a long time. Yeah. Yet failed to put any counter, anti-theft measures to it apart from locking it up. Like, okay. And yes, I heard that, like, a lot of people did not like, the relegation of Bane as just a puppet of Ra's al Ghul. I get it. And perhaps that was one thing that also held Bane back from this movie. Whoever played the proto cat, the pre Catwoman, decent enough. Kind of expected a better cat suit, but yeah. So that's that. And everyone else around, Alfred and Dr. Fox, and the whole thing about the whole thing about capturing Batman and sending him back to the well. Those were some of the best parts of the movie, especially the way that Batman was so overwhelmed. Although he made a very speedy recovery for some reason. Yeah, so the way he was, like, so overpowered by his enemies, by the plot of his enemy, then he pulled off, being somewhat rusty also very well in this movie. But towards the end, the movie started to get a little predictable and a little corny. I won't say cheesy, but a little corny. But that whole thing about that police officer who later on turned out to be Robin? Really? That's Robin? Okay, like, trying to do the right thing. Yeah, that came off decently, I will tell you. Okay. But towards the end, it started to get a little annoying for me. But what then? And, like, you had the whole turnaround that, Bane's not the child, Miranda's the child, and Miranda was Liam Neeson's daughter, and like she had a revenge plan, but all of a sudden she wants to honor the father that she hated. Like, why would you do that? Why would you honor the man you wanted to kill? Well, a lot of times, villains have stupid logics anyways. Okay, but the ending where the Batman basically killed himself to save Gotham City, like, flying up in the Batwing. Okay, I will tell you, that was good. And that is a very good ending to a movie. Although we did not see the Joker die, or at least in my DVR version, I did not see the Joker die in the second movie, like in The Dark Knight. But yes, that final act of sacrifice, and then the police officer finally, indicating that he's going to become the next hero for the city as Robin. I don't know if there's a Robin movie yet. Like, I didn't check. But hopefully, if there isn't a movie, and if they make a movie, hopefully they can put some credibility finally in Robin, because everyone thinks Robin is a joke. Yeah, so that whole ending sequence, very, very well done. Very well done. Great way to end the movie. Great way to sign off Christian Bale as Batman. Hopefully he comes back, but they will have to do a lot of explaining, unless it's a soft or a hard reboot. They'll have to do a lot of explaining. Overall, I give this movie an 8.5 out of 10. It's not as good as Dark Knight, but still, it was a good movie. It was quite a good movie. If you haven't watched it, I do recommend you to watch it after watching the first two movies to get better context. After watching The Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. Alright, that's about it, guys. Let me know what you thought about Batman The Dark Knight Rises in the comment section below. And as always, hit that like, subscribe, bell notification button.
This is your boy, the Tanvir Shayad, the Bengal Dragon, signing off for now.